Tails. The call is tails. It's a tail. Montreal, you've won the toss. Would you like to choose this half? You'll defer to the second half. Ottawa, which end would you like to kick from? That end?
And so our game will begin shortly here in Ottawa tonight. The guys in the studio, Dwayne, talked about being here. Very emotional, very loud. What an ovation. But before this game, a lot of people may have thought, you know, the importance of this game, what it means to a community. This may be one of the most important games the CFL has ever played in its history.
Yeah, absolutely. And you feel the sense of solidarity. We saw the players from both teams shake hands before the national anthem, intertwined amongst each other as one team, standing together during the national anthem. A very powerful image, as we've seen a number of them this week.
Yeah, and to go and to all be beside the flag during the anthem, which was sung louder than I have ever heard "O Canada" been sung before. Before this game, usually the head coach of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, Rick Campbell, addresses his team, but tonight Henry Burris was given that task.
Hey man, tonight sends a message in so many different ways. Number one, nobody comes into our house and does anything that we don't give them the opportunity to do. Nobody! Nobody comes into our city and takes somebody out without our respect. Nobody! We get after people when they come into our house. We're here to represent our city tonight, fellas. We're here to represent our country tonight because people have lost their lives over doing that, for making sure we can play this game. Tonight is much bigger than us. We're stepping out here to show those people those respects and to say thank you for all the victims who lost their lives for us to do what we're doing here tonight.
Very emotional. Henry Burris, who comes from a military background, as a matter of fact, and Henry Burris with those words tonight, sparking his team. A game that really has little significance for the Ottawa REDBLACKS in the standings, but as we mentioned, this game has an entirely different meaning for a city in grief, in healing, a week of horror and heroes, and a night of honor. In our true north, strong and free, we kick off some football tonight. Roy Finch at the 35-yard line. And for the next 3 hours, Ottawa can sit back and relax and enjoy some football.
That is the plan. Henry Burris and his team look to put on a show here. He's joined in that offense by one of the CFL's top second down receivers this season in Marcus Henry. That's Henry's go-to guy. And of course, a number of good young pieces in place for this building Ottawa team, including Nolan McMillan, a rookie who has started every game on that offensive line.
An Ottawa team that has had trouble scoring touchdowns in this stadium. Henry Burris to the sideline and down the sideline for one of his favorite targets is Marcus Henry. And into Montreal territory right away.
A situation where Henry Burris had an option, whether he wanted to pull this one down, as he had plenty of room on the outside, whether he wanted to throw. He likes to get it out to Henry for a quick Ottawa first down.
Henry Burris tied for third place. CFL history has been tied now for several weeks at 333 touchdowns throwing. And a great career with Ron Lancaster. Has gone 4 games without throwing a touchdown pass. Up the middle they go for half the first down yardage. And it is Roy Finch, explosive player. Here are our starters to watch, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
The guy who has been key in the resurgence on the defensive side of the ball for the Alouettes has been middle linebacker Bear Woods. He had a big game against Ottawa about a month ago. Jeff Tisdale among the CFL leaders again in interceptions. And of course, Kai Hebert comes back from injury.
Up the middle again. Another first down. Jonathan Williams returns to the lineup after missing a couple games with injury. Williams had a huge game a few weeks ago against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
The REDBLACKS will look to Williams and Roy Finch to provide that 1-2 punch in the backfield. Each of those guys offering some explosiveness, some big play potential every time they touch the ball.
Red Blacks driving the football in this opening series tonight here in the nation's capital. Back it goes to Williams. Bear Woods brings him down, and this is the area now where the Ottawa Red Blacks have struggled.
Yeah, for as many bright spots as they've shown down the stretch offensively, as they've started to be able to run that ball in particular a little bit. There you see the number that stands out, Henry Burris, yet to throw a touchdown pass here at home in 2014.
They have not scored an offensive touchdown over their last 32 possessions, dating back to October 3rd in their win here over the Blue Bombers. Burris pulls it back, play action down the sideline, knocked out of bounds. Patrick Lavoie, former star from the Laval Rouge Or, brings it inside the red zone and closer to this goal line, a 10-yard gain.
Lavoie happy with the opportunity to make a play against his former team. Guy who played a couple of seasons with the Montreal Alouettes, a second-round draft choice for them. Back in 2012, lined up as a tight end in that situation. Very versatile performer.
Can they, will they find the house on a Henry Burris pass? Or will it be Jonathan Williams up the middle? Down inside the 5-yard line where they can now go first and goal.
Well, it's a nice job by the Red Blacks to block this up. You're going to see a blitz come from that offensive left side, right side of your screen. They do a good job picking that up. There's the kick out. And around the horn, that opens things up. Gerald Brown, the blitzing DB, was the contained player. First puller did a good job to take him out and open up that lane.
Williams remains in the backfield. Burris in shotgun now. At the 5-yard line, first and goal. Looks like he wants to throw. He will, and it's dropped. And one of the reasons that Henry Burris, one of the key reasons, even though this is newcomer Roy Finch, that Henry Burris has gone over at TD Place Stadium, is that right there.
Yeah, inopportune drops from receivers. Here you're going to see that quick swing. It's like a bubble screen going to the running back coming from the backfield. With the quickness of Finch, you saw he had the defenders outflanked. Could have outrun anyone to that pylon.
Second and goal. Burris back to pass. Has the man. Has the touchdown. And now he is number 3 all time. Henry to Henry for a little history. Finally in Ottawa this week, something to cheer. The Red Blacks have scored a touchdown on their first drive. Marcus Henry from Henry Burris. Touchdown number 334. Long time coming. Henry Burris ignites his team in the pregame. Passionate speech. Drives his team into the end zone. History maker. And the Red Blacks have the early lead in the nation's capital tonight. As in Henry Burris.
There he is, sporting number 1 at this moment, celebrating his first touchdown pass thrown here at home. And there you see where it moves him. Number 3 overall in CFL history, passing the late great Ron Lancaster. There's that historic football, and I'll tell you what, the Ottawa Red Blacks marched that football down there with such confidence. It looked like they've been doing that all year.
Yeah, that did not look like a 2-13 team newcomers from Montreal. Chris Rainey stood up by Eddie Elder and brought down. Saw that flag fly, a pink flag, celebrating, of course, and honoring the awareness that we're bringing in the Canadian Football League, tackling women's cancers. Pink Week. All the players spatted out. So much
Holding.
pink out there.
Montreal number 44. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So many players. So many of us affected by cancer, and the players talking about it, raising such great awareness the last couple of weeks. Jonathan Crompton back at work, former star from Tennessee. He's been a star in Montreal this season.
Popular guy right now. He's got the Alouettes on what is this Canadian Football League's longest current winning streak at 4.
Brings back his receivers now. 6-1 as a starter is Crompton. Pocket collapses and down he goes. Zach Evans was in on that. Justin Capicotti and an entire front line.
We'll take a look at the Montreal offensive starters to watch, and of course it begins with Jonathan Crompton. One of the keys has been the way he's taken care of the football. 7 touchdown passes versus 2 interceptions. His last 5, both S.J. Green and Duron Carter, his 2 favorite targets, have had big games against Ottawa this season.
Throwing down, 2nd and 10. Crompton over the middle, and Brandon London makes the catch. Brandon London, big grab. 2nd down conversion, brings it up near the 35-yard line.
Good to see Brandon London become increasingly involved in this Alouettes offense. A guy whose 2013 season hampered by injuries. But starting to really click with his quarterback, Jonathan Crompton, giving him another big target in that receiving corps.
Terrell Sutton. Defensive starters to watch.
Jasper Simmons, former Toronto Argonaut, leads the Red Blacks in tackles. He's 3rd in the Canadian Football League from his weak side linebacker spot. On the other side, another one of those good young players, the 4th overall pick in the 2014 draft. Antoine Pruneau has been terrific. The strong side linebacker, Brandon Thompson, the field halfback, tied for 3rd in the Canadian Football League with 4 picks.
Chris Rainey's in the backfield with Crompton. Stays in for blocking help. And another toss downfield for S.J. Green. Another big play for the Montreal Alouettes. Another huge 2nd down conversion.
Working on the boundary side of the field. Watch that stem to the inside. Sells it hard. Catches Jarrell Gavins. Overplaying it on the inside before breaking it back towards that corner. Nicely run route by S.J. Green.
Alouettes now put their twin backs in with Sutton and Chris Rainey. Look out for those dynamite receivers, though. Tanner Marsh comes in. Marsh taking it up the middle. Little play action on the fake sweep to Rainey. And Marsh quickly sprints to the sideline. That will... Oh, he's going to stay away. He was leaving, now he's going. Here comes Jonathan Crompton.
A little creativity on the play call there with that fake sweep to Chris Rainey to threaten the outside, get the defense to loosen up a little bit as they fight to maintain leverage. Opens things up on the inside for Tanner Marsh to take it straight up the middle.
An Alouette team has won 4 straight games, 6 of their last 7. Now the right side opens up here for Terrell Sutton down to the 10-yard line. Big gain for Sutton. And the Alouettes are going to go 1st and goal. Again, a team that lost Brandon Whitaker for the rest of the regular season. Whitaker out with injury, and Terrell Sutton has become a player with major impact.
Well, he sure has, and he's fit into the role nicely. As you see the right tackle, Jeff Parrott, do a nice job mashing things on the down block. Punching it down inside, and then there's Sutton right around the corner, just outside that block.
One of the things Sutton doesn't have is a touchdown. as an Alouette yet. Those are big cleats to fill, though. Brandon Whitaker's been such a force for the Alouettes over the last couple of seasons.
Of course, Whitaker such a key part, not just in the ground game, but also in terms of the Alouettes' passing game. Was one of their leading receivers in terms of catches at the time when he got hurt. But Terrell Sutton's a guy who's been here for a couple of years and has demonstrated that he's ready for a bigger role. So he steps up to look to Chris Rainey as well to allow them to continue with the two-back sets. So far, so good for the Owls.
Crompton looks for Duron Carter to the end zone, and it was knocked down. And S.J. Green was there, and Jarrell Gavins, who is celebrating a birthday today. 26th. The little gift, almost had a pick six.
Yeah, it would have been real nice for him to celebrate with a pick six. Right here, you'll see there's nothing in front of him as he gets his hands on the football.
Both Duron Carter and S.J. Green on patterns there. Crompton went to Green and knocked down. So Sean White, who has been the CFL's hottest field goal kicker of late, 18 straight. Quite a season for White, not only on field goals, but also punting the football. There is a challenge flag from Tom Higgins, and thinking this is interference. And again, if you're just watching for the first time this season from the United States in particular, you can challenge pass interference.
Montreal is challenging that there's forward pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
It is challengeable and under video review now at the CFL command.
No question there was some contact. We'll take a closer look to determine the extent of that. See if we get a little grab here from Gavins. At this point he's fine, but now watch the right hand as he kind of uses Green for a little bit of leverage to fight to the outside to work to that football. Now again, this is where the question remains, whether at full speed or in slow motion, still a judgment call. Did he tug him and move him? Because I don't think he did. I think he just had his hand on him.
After review, we have pass interference. Ottawa number 24. Foul occurred in goal. It'll be first down on the 1 yard line.
Well, that was one of the quickest decisions, by the way, from the command center. And this call is overturned.
And we've seen similar situations before, and there you see he's using the receiver as leverage to kind of pull the receiver by and propel himself. But my point is, Jarrell Gavins at 180 pounds and S.J. Green at about 225, Green didn't move. It's not like he swung the receiver from getting to the football.
And the ball wasn't in that direction. He's clearly outside that. Here's Tanner Marsh now. So the benefit of a penalty, interference call. Marsh has 6 touchdowns at quarterback this season. Looking for 7, and it looks like he has it. So the Alouettes drive the football. A couple of big second down conversions, and also a yellow challenge flag that proved pivotal. Pass interference in the end zone, moved it down to the 1. And the touchdown, the 7th of the season for Marsh.
Offside on the defense. That penalty be declined. Touchdown.
Tanner Marsh has become a specialist at this season, has he not?
The art of the 1 yard plunge.
So the Alouettes hold serve early on here in this first quarter. Much different game than it was a month ago, when only a 15-7 final emerged. No offensive touchdowns. We've had 2 so far. 7-7 in Ottawa on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Montreal Alouettes, Tanner Marsh finishes off the march to the goal line. Back and forth, these teams trade punches early on. There's the little guy. Roy Finch, a couple of good blocks. The newest Ottawa REDBLACKS the last couple of weeks, making his presence felt. Nice routine. Henry Burris, what a start. Makes some history. Number 3 all-time touchdown passes. Henry Burris back in the saddle here. For the Alouettes answered with a touchdown of their own. And Henry Burris on that opening drive passes the little general.
I feel very honored to even be considered in the same light with the Ron Lancaster, and to be able to break a record that he held, and to know that, you know, the career that I've had has excelled to the point where I've been able to, you know, break some of the top tiered records that are, you know, in the history books as far as here in the CFL. You know, it's truly special, and it's truly something that I know I'll be enamored about once my career is over.
And off for a first down by Jonathan Williams. Well, coincidental or not, Henry Burris passes Ron Lancaster in a city where it began for Ron Lancaster, here in Ottawa. He actually began with the Rough Riders for a couple of seasons before the legend took off in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see some of the moments of the great career of Ron Lancaster. A champion as a player, as a coach, an ambassador of the Canadian Football League.
Great man, and caught in the backfield by Chip Cox. Roy Finch was going nowhere, read perfectly. 11-yard loss on the play.
Well, you know that Roy Finch is fast. Watch right from the top left side of your screen. Chip Cox never met a race he wouldn't take. Right here, running down the speedster in the backfield for a big loss.
Mark, the loss actually is 8, so make it 2nd and 18 now. Coming off a Defensive Player of the Year award, Chip Cox looked like offside there. There is a penalty flag that flies late. Burris goes deep, jump ball, and almost picked off by Mitchell White, who was that close to garnering his first interception in the CFL. Like there was a jump on the line at the beginning.
Yeah, John Bowman at defensive end. Henry Burris knew he had a freebie.
Offside. Montreal number 7. 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat, 2nd down.
See John Bowman clearly jump. Henry Burris decides to take that shot downfield. Nearly a terrific catch. Would have gone for naught by Mitchell White.
There's Bowman with 10 sacks on the season, and they jump again. There's that cadence by Henry Burris. Burris, free play here. Will throw it down the sideline, where it is caught by Wallace Miles, who also lost his helmet and his footing, and doesn't look like he's going to get up quickly here. Wallace Miles is hurt. They're calling for a trainer to come to the far sideline as he slipped out of bounds very awkwardly.
Miles landed hard on the sideline. You saw that helmet pop off immediately on impact.
Montreal number 31. 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat, 2nd down.
And you see the very end of the play. As Miles catches the ball, takes that hit. Looked like he may have caught part of the sticks on the sidelines.
So Wallace Miles, the far sideline, be attended to. We'll step aside and come back to TD Place Stadium in Ottawa to open this game. Let's go down to Brent Wallace.
Thanks very much, Rod. With OSEG President Jeff Hunt. Jeff, you knew this was an emotional week. There was a lot that was going to be invested in this game. Your thoughts on the opening ceremony?
I'm very proud of our fans. You know, I thought they were very respectful, and you know, they, in my mind, hit all the high notes. They showed the proper degree of respect, And you know, it was a somber moment, obviously, after the moment of silence, to go right into a crowd-led national anthem. And I think there was still a little bit of a somber feeling in the in the stands. But overall, you know, it was what we had hoped to accomplish, and now you can see already that fans have moved on and they're having fun, and as things should be.
You knew the importance of this game is bringing the city together. Were you stressing a lot about what to do and how to do it all properly as things unfolded?
Yeah, I could say it was very stressful leading up to it. You know, you feel a huge responsibility to do something respectful and proper, and you want it to go well, and you know, you want to pay the proper tribute to these soldiers that have lost their lives this week. So, and I feel like we've accomplished that. So it's a big sigh of relief, and now we can enjoy a game.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Well, indeed, very difficult week for this city, this country.
First down.
What a run that time by Roy Finch. And we salute all of the armed forces, of course, who keep us safe at home.
You see that screen pass to Finch as the pressure was on with Kai Hebert in the backfield after Henry Burris.
He's got some dance steps.
Oh, terrific effort by the little fella to stay alive.
Oh. Former Oklahoma Sooner. Used to call him the X-Man, as in exciting and explosive. Jonathan Williams dropped by Chip Cox on first down.
And that combination right now of Finch and Williams providing a little bit of the explosiveness that at times this season you would argue that the Ottawa offense has lacked. But these two guys in the backfield right now offer some big play potential.
Second down conversion coming up again for the REDBLACKS. From the 44. 7-7 game. Here come the Owls again. There goes the football, and a penalty flag flies. Interference this time on Billy Parker. Will keep this drive alive.
Pass interference. Montreal number 17. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Jonathan Williams on the free release to the flat. You'll see him come from the right side of your screen. Just entering the picture now. He's going to continue out into the flat, and you can see the halfback, Billy Parker, sees that ball coming, comes downhill on it. And then just a touch early with the contact on the receiver. Keep the drive alive.
Chip Cox trying to come to that backfield again as they deliver it off. Once again to Finch. Saw Chip Cox creeping up there for the blitz, and they couldn't get to Burris as he swung the football out again. They're going to like Roy Finch around here. The way it looks so far, only a couple of games in. He tried out with the New England Patriots. He's been in the huddle with Tom Brady in the past at training camp.
On a pretty good tussle on this play between the slot, Khalil Payton, and the halfback, Gerald Brown. Brown sees it. It looked like, though it looks like Brown ran him over, I think he's suggesting that Payton got away with a little bit of the clutch and fall back to make that block. Could have been a bit of a hold against the REDBLACKS.
Cluster formation, second and short yardage, but the play clock had expired. Time count violation against the REDBLACKS. Here's Tom Valesi.
Time count violation. Ottawa number 1. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, this will force Rick Campbell and the REDBLACKS to rethink their game plan and personnel on now second and long. Going to a bigger formation. John Delahunt in as a tight end, replacing Roy Finch.
REDBLACKS came into the game, into this week, last in the CFL in second down conversions. Here comes the house again. Burris, and it is picked off by Mitchell White. Now he has his first CFL pick. Burris Burris was under a little bit of duress as he threw that football, and it got tipped up and landed in the hands of former Michigan State Spartan Mitchell White.
You'll see Henry Burris forced to accelerate his throwing motion here, as you'll see the late pressure comes. Couple guys come free around that right side. Red Blacks aren't outnumbered at the line of scrimmage. They just don't protect the backside, and with that heat, Henry Burris has got to hurry that throw a little bit. Bear Woods gets the tip. Mitchell White says thank you.
We're keeping him on the field.
Last play of this first quarter. The Red Blacks. Turnovers have been such a problem with an expansion franchise.
I was nervous. I couldn't see it. I was in the lane.
And lately, this Montreal D has helped propel this team to their win streak. The factor at the top of the CFL East in a heap. And an emotional night in Ottawa.
1, 2, 3,
Stirring national anthem. Great start for the Red Blacks. Answered by the Alouettes. Week that has really shaken this city and the country, and seems so trite and insignificant to talk about football at a time like this, but did you not get a sense from the anthem and the moment of silence and having so many military here and the Prime Minister that this is part of the healing process?
Yeah, I truly believe that, and people want something to celebrate. They want to show that sense of togetherness and have something to cheer about. I think this gathering has given them the opportunity to celebrate not just a football game or a football team, but to get together and celebrate a city and a country.
Especially our armed forces, 2 fallen soldiers this week that will not be forgotten. Jonathan Crompton is brought down on a penalty flag, likely a holding call. Great defensive presence from the Red Blacks. Marlon Smith over from Jonathan Williams, that rush end position.
Illegal contact. Ottawa number 24.
Receiver.
10-yard penalty. First down.
Call here. It wasn't a hold, but illegal contact again from Jarrell Gavins.
Well, the young Ottawa DBs are going to have their hands full tonight. Those Montreal receivers, led by Carter, Green, and London. Big size advantage. The Montreal pass catchers here.
So 2 interference calls against Gavins. One that was challenged earlier, led to a touchdown. This makes it a first down Montreal. Here's the power pitch to Sutton, who cuts back. Terrell Sutton gets some positive yardage. Antoine Pruneau is there, the rookie linebacker out of Montreal. Bring him down. Pickup of only 2 or 3 yards, but he had to do a lot of running.
Well, the Red Blacks initially played this very well. They're forced them to run sideways. Had contained, had that leverage. But Terrell Sutton saw a little bit of daylight on that cutback lane and managed to turn it into a positive play.
There he is, Terrell Sutton out of Northwestern University. Crompton. Here comes the house now, and one hopper again, feeling the heat that time was Crompton. So for the first time tonight, 2 teams that have had to punt a lot this season. The Ottawa Red Blacks a lot, the Montreal Alouettes a lot, especially early on. This is their first punt of this ball game. Here we are in the second quarter. It says to the momentum that the offenses have carried so far.
Yeah, both teams moving the football very well in the early going here.
Sean White will let this go from near his 35-yard line against the wind, and it bounces out at the 38-yard line. 7-7 game here tonight. The Alouettes riding a win streak. Red Blacks back at home. Thank you, Rod. There's Danny O'Brien, the backup to Henry Burris. They said that he would get a few series here in the first half and in this ball game tonight. O'Brien made a little history himself here in Ottawa. The first touchdown pass from a quarterback wasn't Henry Burris, but Danny O'Brien a few weeks ago. Burris will watch now as the backup from Catawba College out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, moved to North Carolina at a young age, gets a chance to get a series or two here. And Rick Campbell talked about this week, especially when you're trying to grow a team and give somebody some experience when you're 2-13.
Yeah, it's important. They're out of the playoffs. Now the focus becomes less right now, more future.
Deep drop. Here comes the pressure. He hurls it down the sideline. It was picked off by Jeff Tisdale. Danny O'Brien may not get too many series if he does that. That was an ill-advised toss. There was no one in sight, whether he was trying to throw that out of bounds, threw it right into the midst of Jeff Tisdale.
Well, it wasn't pretty, and part of the growing pains for the young quarterback getting in here. He's got a white jersey in his face, and a throwaway that wasn't a good throwaway.
Did he get his footing? We might see a challenge flag here.
Well,
they actually, it's a turnover, and they're going to be reviewed anyway. Automatically reviewed. They will bring it to the line of scrimmage quickly, the Alouettes. So they have reviewed this.
Left foot's down, right foot on.
Now again, turnovers are automatically reviewed at command. And Jeff Tisdale, who last year had 7 picks, this year has 5 interceptions. Former Hamilton Tiger Cat, Stampeder. Boy, that was close to being out of bounds, if not out of bounds. Crompton goes deep. This could be picked right back. Abdul Kanay has it, and he's got some room here. Kanay almost had it stripped, but has the pick. And maybe there's karma on that interception. Flag down. Abdul Kanay with his second interception as an Ottawa Redblack. And now another flag flies. Looked like objectionable conduct at the end. A couple of players were jawing at each other on the Montreal sideline. That's where Kanay was.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Unnecessary roughness, Montreal number 64. Objectionable conduct, Ottawa number 24. We'll bounce those penalties after the interception. First down, Ottawa.
Ryan Bombin, the roughing call.
The intended receiver's on the inside. That's Brandon London, but keep an eye on Kanay. He's on the outside. He's the corner. He sees Crompton looking deep, so he falls off to help out. Ball overthrown. He's there to make a play. You see Ryan Bombin with a little extra shove on his way up. That earned him the flag. Ottawa retaliated. Even things out a bit in terms of yardage.
O'Brien keeps it on the ground this time. Giving it to Jonathan Williams, who's twisted up by Bear Woods and is hurt. And right away.
Yeah, Jonathan Williams' right leg was caught awkwardly under him as he went down.
And right away, Bear Woods held up a little bit and actually tried to keep him upright, and the players called to the sideline. The Montreal players did, knowing that Williams was hurt right away. And it doesn't look good for Jonathan Williams. Very awkward here.
Yeah, you can see as he was forced down. Watch the right leg here. Gets twisted underneath him. Right here, the cleats on that right leg catch as he's pulled down.
Williams must have said something, or the players knew right away. They signaled to the sideline, and they're working on Jonathan Williams, just coming back from injury into the Ottawa lineup. Jonathan Williams, who spent some time with the Stampeders last season, coming to Ottawa this year, made an immediate impact. And that is a very promising sign. The way he's jogging on the sideline did not look good a few moments ago for him.
No, it sure didn't, but hopefully he's able to make a quick recovery, and from an Ottawa perspective, hopefully able to put up some of those numbers like he did against Winnipeg a couple weeks ago. There's Jonathan Williams. Welcome to the CFL moment.
Burris back in the game to Patrick Lavoie. Jonathan Williams, you talk about that Winnipeg game, the last time the Red Blacks put up a lot of points and got a win, 42-20, early October here.
We've seen the run game very important to the Red Blacks. Early success here in terms of moving the football. That combination of Williams and Roy Finch.
First down on the Montreal side of the field. Ottawa sideline toss by Burris to Wallace Miles, way over his head. Wallace Miles, who's back, he got nicked up earlier as well. So back to a throwing down for the Red Blacks.
On one of the adjustments you'll see for Ottawa offensively in this ball game, you'll notice neither Williams nor Finch on the field. We've seen this a couple times. Second in passing situations, not necessarily second down, but just passing situations. The fullback Patrick Lavoie in the backfield to help them with their blitz pickup and pass protection.
There he is again, helping out far sideline, and almost another interception for Mitchell White, looking for Marcus Henry, and so 2 incomplete passes in a row. That will bring out Brett Maher for his first punt of the night.
Here you see Lavoie in the backfield, provides a bigger body, more experienced player as well. That time picking up the blitz from Dominique Ellis.
Brett Maher, Nebraska Cornhusker product. Struggles kicking field goals this year. Percentage way down, but he's been so good at angling kicks. And has he done it again? Oh, yes, he has. That is now 15 times this season that Maher has booted the ball inside the 10-yard line. A long field now for the Montreal Alouettes. Under 10 to go before halftime. Don't forget Wendy's Friday Night Football. This is a doubleheader tonight. Key matchup in the West again. Bo against Terrius. Stampeders Rough Riders are coming up next. Wendy's Friday Night Football will send you to McMahon Stadium in Calgary as this season starts to wind down.
Playoff mode.
Playoff mode. Calgary is already in West Final mode. They clinched their division last week. They can play out the string here. Get ready for the West Final, November 23rd. Handoff, Sutton, right side. Saw Bo Levi Mitchell, you know, the impressive start he has had as a starter with the Calgary Stampeders. Not to be outdone is what Jonathan Crompton has done in Montreal.
Well, this is what Tom Higgins has maintained all along. You want a quarterback who can win, and we'll say this, Jonathan Crompton hasn't thrown for huge yardage. It hasn't always been pretty, but he's won a whole lot of football games for this team and put them in a pretty good position heading down the stretch as far as playoff position within the East.
Anthony Calvillo, who started 5-2 with the team, and this is almost, and it isn't. They're saying it's picked off. No, they're saying it's incomplete. Tomaso Munoz was there, but you saw Anthony Calvillo getting a chance to meet and greet some of the members of the armed forces before the ball game. This was almost another pick.
Yeah, deflected a couple of times.
Off a foot. Wow.
Now from that angle, it looked like it stayed up.
Here, watch the foot.
Javon Johnson's foot.
Yeah, here's the foot, and there's Munoz. Now, did he make?
There's the question: is did Munoz catch the ball?
Sean White from his end zone decides to boot it out. Here's Finch spinning, and penalty flag at the 50. 7-all game here. Swings of momentum early on. Couple of turnovers. A good call there. thunderous ovation here for the last couple minutes, honoring members of our armed forces on the field here tonight. What has been a very sad week in the nation's capital, a week that many news organizations said that Canada lost its innocence. The shooting here, the War Memorial and Parliament, and of course the incident in Quebec. 2 soldiers lost this week on home soil. Jonathan Williams is back in the lineup, and the Alouettes are saying a fumble football, but it looked like and sounded like the whistle had blown as he made progress.
Good to see Williams back in the ball game here for the Red Blacks. Take a look particularly at the end of this play just to ensure that he was in fact down before this ball popped loose. There you see it wrestled away right at the end as he's down.
Red Blacks were trying to make a substitution, did not get Roy Finch on the field in time, so 2nd and 9, some confusion, but Burris heaves it and caught by Matt Carter right at the Red Black bench. First down.
Red Blacks flooded the right side of the field with a couple of deeper routes in front of Matt Carter. He goes on that out. Henry Burris, well-timed throw to get it there in front of Mitchell White.
Ottawa team that lost its first 2 games, won its inaugural game here at TD Place, then lost 9 straight, won 1, and has lost 2 straight. Trying to ride out this season with a couple of positives and play spoiler as well. Burris hanging in and twisted down by Gerald Brown.
We've seen Gerald Brown awfully close to the line of scrimmage a lot of times in the early going of this ball game. Part of that blitz package a little more frequently than usual. 3 receivers to that side of the field, so he looks like he might cover. Mixes it up with the blitz, unblocked, in for the sack.
Had the quarterbacks dropped a couple of times tonight, but that is the first recorded sack in the ball game. Others were right at the line of scrimmage, so Gerald Brown gets that. Alouettes line it up, load it up, and Kyrus Hebert brings down Roy Finch. And Kyrus Hebert, this is really where it all started for Kyrus Hebert. Gets a chance to come back to Ottawa. Didn't play in the earlier game this season here. He was injured, but Kyrus Hebert was a former Ottawa Renegade.
And you'll see it, Hebert, he's the one guy that hangs back here. Everybody thinks they're going to get a sack as the Red Blacks O-line lets him go to set up that screen, but Hebert recognizes it, fights his way to Finch to pull him down.
And it's blocked, a blocked kick. And the Alouettes have it. Jonathan Beaulieu-Richard. Nicolas Poulet in on the play. Brett Maher has it blocked, and the Montreal D and special teams continue to dominate.
And it looked like the pressure came right through that A gap. Look at how wide that gap is. Now the personal protectors have got to squeeze together. There's no way with the 4 guys in the back row that a player should get there untouched. That's J.C. Beaulieu, the backup fullback, in for the block.
Handing it off to Rainey.
Rainey so far filling the role of Mr. Outside to Terrell Sutton's Mr. Inside in terms of the Montreal run game. Seen him with that sweep action a couple of times. The former Florida Gator.
Played in the BCS championship game with the Gators back in '09. Rainey only a couple of weeks into his CFL career. Sutton in the backfield on 2nd and 1. That's Tanner Marsh time, and another flag goes down. Marsh picked up the successful yardage.
Offside. Ottawa defensive line. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jonathan Crompton back in. 5 minutes to go before halftime here in Ottawa tonight. Play action, Crompton rolling. Here comes the heat. Rainey again, and goalie back. Push back. Near the 35-yard line.
Well, looked like a pretty good fake on that run. You're going to see that action to Sutton going to the left, but the Red Blacks aren't fooled. Quick pursuit to the ball on the play side, front side. Justin Capicotti takes down his former teammate as he throws the football. See them swarm to the receiver, Rainey there. Limit the gain.
Second down and 7. Crompton calls his own number. Dialed the wrong number. Keith Sholigan, Justin Capicotti were there to close the gap. Nowhere to go, and that will bring out the kick team here to attempt a field goal.
Well, the Red Blacks, one of their positions of depth, positions of strength, is their Canadian defensive linemen, starting 3 nationals. Keith Sholigan, Zach Evans on the inside, Justin Capicotti, who's their sacks leader. So starting 3 Canadians. Their 4-man defensive line here tonight.
This is against the wind from 41. Sean White, and makes it. 19 in a row for Sean White. The CFL's hottest kicker right now puts the Alouettes up by 3, 10-7, and that one had a little curl to it, did it not?
Yeah, bend it like Whitey.
And he did. Well, it's been a decade of disastrous drivers, but wait, there's more. Buckle up and get ready as the new season contends with distracted driving. Canada's worst driver returns to Discovery Monday at 10 Eastern. We are not on that show. We could be. Not distracted. We're never distracted. Yeah, well, I could see him being distracted a little bit. There's our hard-working crew here tonight. Close to the 3-minute warning before halftime. What has been so far a very typical Montreal-Ottawa game based on season results so far. Low scoring, but they have found the end zone twice. That has not happened too much between these two. Alouettes looking for their 5th win in a row. 3-minute warning has been issued to both sidelines. Take you through that first touchdown by Henry Burris. Historical one, his first here at TD Place, as a matter of fact. That gave Ottawa a 7-0 lead, but since then it's been Montreal. Moving on the line. Red Blacks couldn't get the play off here.
Procedure. Ottawa number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's the left tackle, Jarrell McCullough. Identified for the early movement. Former Alouette.
Again, the 3rd meeting between these two teams. Owls have won twice. And once again, whistles blow. This may have
looks like a timing issue.
Something to do with the stadium clock. They'll reset. Let's do her again. Apparently a couple of players were on the sideline. They were on the sideline, were on the field. Referee signaled them back. Here's the drop for Burris. And again, Brian Burkowski has the second sack for the Alouettes tonight.
Well, Burkowski getting an opportunity to play here tonight with injuries at defensive end to both Aaron Laverius and Gabriel Napton. Head coach Tom Higgins describes him as a pass rusher. Burkowski proves just that.
Burkowski, who has spent some time in the AFL, the Arena League, with the Cleveland Gladiators, the Chicago Rush. Getting some time at end tonight. So last time Brett Maher punted. This time he's going to run it. And then boots it away. James Rogers, a cutback. Eric Fraser is there to bring him down. Nowhere to roam for the speedy James Rogers. 2:26 to go.
There you see the numbers that the Montreal big three in their receiving core have produced since Jonathan Crompton settled into that starting lineup in week 10. Duron Carter in particular, approaching 500 yards since that time, developing very good chemistry with the Alouettes' new quarterback.
The transformation has been remarkable. Pump fake, Crompton then just chucks it away. Gets up off his butt. 2nd and 10 now. Jonathan Crompton, though, likes his big three.
The more reps we get during practice and the more games we get under our belt with each other, the more comfortable we're getting with each other, where I know that if something happens and the pocket's breaking down and I've got one-on-one with one of those guys, I can lay it up and they'll come down with it. Or if they don't, nobody will, which is a comfort level. I can't say enough good things about them. They're all three hard workers.
Duron Carter has not had a catch here tonight until now. And you knew the most prominent of the big three, really, the last couple of seasons, number 89, was not going to be held off the score sheet for very long.
Yeah, just a matter of time. You know, when Jonathan Crompton needed to make a play, it was likely going to number 89. Duron Carter. All three of these guys possess that great combination, size and speed, that create real matchup problems for CFL DBs.
All three of those guys were in and out of the lineup at the beginning of the season. Troy Smith was the quarterback. No success there as Sutton goes left side, cutting back. Picks up about 6 or 7 yards, but a penalty flag now flies late, and Montreal is saying it's against the REDBLACKS. That's likely objectionable conduct. After the play, way after the play, 7-yard pickup, and the drive will continue even further here.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 74, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
15-yarder, Keith Sholigan. Undisciplined after the play, brings the ball down near the 26-yard line.
Well, Sholigan, usually a low-key guy. He gets involved. You keep your eye in the middle of the screen. Sholigan will end up down in a pile with Josh Burke. He yanks down the Alouettes offensive lineman as he tries to get up.
Rogers, this time brought down by Sholigan as he was trying to cut back, so it's going to set up 2nd down and likely a throwing down again for Jonathan Crompton. But we talk about this Montreal offense. Again, this is a team that began the season 1-7. They could become the first team in CFL history with 2 more wins this year to finish at 500, being 6 games under 500. It has been a complete transformation.
Yeah, a remarkable turnaround for Tom Higgins and this entire team. Because let's face it, when they were 1-6, we weren't seeing a lot of signs of hope.
Well, JC, Jonathan Crompton, has brought the net. Dodges one, throws the other way. Teron Carter comes back. First down inside the red zone, down near the 14-yard line. And Jonathan Crompton shows his escapability and ability to throw on the roll.
Yeah, Teron Carter gets a terrific release here off the line of scrimmage. He's going to motion down tight to the formation on the inside. Antoine Pruneau in that trail coverage, but again, the great release. So Carter's open early, and then it's just a matter of him waiting until Crompton can get his eyes downfield.
Handoff, Sutton, wrapped up, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Jermaine Robinson, the initial contact. Well, it's been JC-DC indeed.
Yeah, great combination, great chemistry between these two players. Remarkable is Crompton's quarterback rating almost doubles when throwing to Carter relative to his other receivers.
Watch him on this play, top of your screen. That's where he's looking. Now goes over the top, and J.C. Beaulieu hauls it in. Bucket is lost after the initial hit, but it's going to be short by about 3 yards of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. It's a long 2. They're going to bring Sean White out.
Well, the Red Blacks did a nice job of taking away everything deep, forcing Crompton to go to that check down to the fullback, Beaulieu. Simmons comes up to make that tackle and stop him short.
Well, you just knocked that helmet, swiped it right off of Jasper Simmons' head. So Sean White, who's made 19 straight. It's a little chip shot near the 15-yard line. 20 in a row. 4 away from his personal best. Career longest 24 in a row back in 2011. Sean White has also been a reason, but one of the reasons that Sean White has kicked 20 in a row is the fact that the Alouettes are driving the football and putting themselves in good scoring position.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean White's been good. He's been 80% from beyond the 40. But as you said, they're setting the table for him, so he's not having to nail a lot of those 40-yarders to keep the streak going.
Likeable guy from White Rock, BC. Celebrated his 29th birthday yesterday. Put that coat back on a chilly night here in the nation's capital. Danny O'Brien is back in again, and Roy Finch bursts outside. Hit hard on the sideline by Gerald Brown on that far side. Roy Finch, he gets those legs churning. He is a blur.
Yeah, Finch came into this game averaging over 7 yards a pop. It's that combination of quickness and, you know, it's a comparison you hate to make about a guy a couple of games into his CFL career.
You're not going to make a comparison, are you?
There's a pinball element to his game.
Pinball-esque. There is, though, a couple of those plays early on. And flags fly. He is from Niceville, Florida. Gotta think a guy from Niceville, Florida. Got some nice moves.
Procedure, Ottawa. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down. Timer, could you please put 15.5 seconds on the clock?
So a chance here, 15.5, about 8 seconds of play. Trying to get this into Brett Maher's range. They do have the wind with them. Penalties have hurt the Red Blacks here tonight. 10 for 63 yards so far. Maher is ready. Danny O'Brien at the helm again. They'll keep it on the ground, however. That eats up about 4 seconds. Rather conservative approach. And they do that again, or will they try to get some more points on the board here? Time running down will be the final play before halftime. And they will keep it conservative in a fumble football. But it is the final play of the first half. No time left on the clock. Another turnover. A couple of field goals from Sean White. 13 straight points after a great start from the Ottawa REDBLACKS tonight. Quite a night in the nation's capital on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Let's send it back to Rod Smith.
Thank you, Rod. Quite a night indeed. And
Friday Night Football, the Ottawa REDBLACKS down by 6. Heading into the second half, Henry Burris finally gets a TD pass at TD Place. He's with Brent Wallace.
Henry, this is your town. You talked about earlier the wanting to be putting on a good show. What was the emotions like as you went through the opening?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of emotions running wild. I mean, of course, you know, with all the young guys we have, this is a lot of their first times, you know, dealing with a situation like this. And nerves have been running wild as far as on our team. We've had a lot of penalties, some that we've done a much better job as far as in containing over the past few games. But we talked to the guys about just calming your nerves. Just going out here playing football. The fans came here for us to put on the show, and we got to change our demeanor and come out and play the style of football they expect.
I was going to ask you, was the second half, the speech in the locker room that way, we've got to come out better in the second here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the stuff that we're doing has been self-inflicted. I mean, Montreal is a very good team, and they'll do anything they can. They cause a lot of turnovers and stuff like that, but we got to help ourselves out and start shooting ourselves in the foot and come out and play the type of ball that we're expected to play here at home. Okay, thank you.
Second half underway tonight. Chris Rainey on the return. The first really large public gathering since the tragic events this week. Tremendous ovation early on. A moment of silence honoring the fallen. And there are some of the team leaders as we played some football in that first half.
Yeah, both sides came out of the gate quickly offensively, but not huge numbers as defenses seem to take things over as that second quarter wore on.
Jonathan Crompton and his team chance to even the record at 8-8. Turnaround season. And as this stretch drive comes to a conclusion, recall about 6 weeks ago when we might not have thought we might be here, partner, when it comes to teams close in the East and the potential crossover that exists. We could have 3 teams at 8-10 by the end of the season. We could have a 3-way tie. Don't forget Hamilton and Toronto. Huge game tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been really a tale of 2 seasons, the way the first half went, and the West Division dominance, and records have evened up a little bit, but the most important thing is that you've got a couple of pretty good playoff races happening, and particularly what's going on in the East Division right now.
Dave Stala hauls in a pass for a first down. The longtime veteran is going to be turning 35 tomorrow. And around this league, the Alouettes and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a couple of 1,000-yard seasons. Dependable guy. He comes by that nickname Sticky quite naturally. Great second down receiver. Banyai Cups at St. Mary's. Hit screen over to Duron Carter. Spin move, and look out now! Duron Carter almost had it stripped from behind by Jarrell Gabbins, but that explosiveness that we've come to know from Duron Carter makes the big play. Big play, Duron Carter, JC, DC, big yards.
Yeah, going for a high percentage way to get the ball into Carter's hands. He's held to 2 catches, 24 yards in the first half of this ball game. Going to the high percentage on that hitch screen and allowing Carter to use that unique after the catch ability for a guy so tall.
Guy who also had a field goal return this year for a touchdown. Crompton airs it out deep for S.J. Green. There will be an interference call. S.J. Green still almost made that catch. He was brought down to his knees. Clearly interference. This moves the ball even further.
Yeah, clipped from behind. Just before the ball arrived, Abdul Kane, the man in coverage, You'll see with his dive, he takes out Green's legs just before the ball gets there.
Jonathan Crompton got what he
Pass
wanted.
interference. Ottawa number 14. Objectionable conduct. Montreal quarterback. We'll go to the 1-yard line, then back 10 yards. Will be first down.
Jonathan Crompton, objectionable conduct. So from going to the goal line and basically a Tanner Marsh plunge, now it's 1st and 10.
Well, that's a call that we've seen a number of times this season. Anytime a player lobbies for a call.
So now 1st and 10 outside the 10-yard line. Crompton back to pass and incomplete. S.J. Green was over the middle. Brandon London was in the end zone. Like it might have been intended for Green initially.
But as they prepare for this 2nd and 10 play, makes you realize how costly that penalty to Crompton could potentially be. As you said, they would have been set up on the 1-yard line where Tanner Marsh and the short yardage team have been basically a sure thing. Now they got some work to do.
Big play here for the Ottawa defense. Crompton again, lets it go, and backpedaling and stopped. A big stop on James Rogers, and a flag flies. Actually 2 flags, one in the backfield, one at the 10-yard line. That might have been for the over-exuberance after that tackle on Rogers. And the one in the backfield, we're not sure.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Montreal number 54. Objectionable conduct, Ottawa. We'll bounce those penalties at the previous line of scrimmage and we'll replay 2nd down.
So again, a very costly call on that celebration after the play on Rogers, because now Montreal would have been kicking a field goal.
And we'll see the first flag here goes against Jeff Parrott, the right tackle, for getting the hands up in the face of the defender.
Abdul Kanay.
There you see the latter flag that keeps this drive alive.
See how costly this is. Otherwise, that would have been 3rd down. They get another shot at the end zone. Pump fake. Touchdown. Costly penalty it is. S.J. Green scores.
That's what we wanted. We got it. There we go.
They gave the Alouettes a break. Another shot. And the Alouettes made good.
Well, they sure do. Here you see the protection, plenty of time for Crompton to set up and throw. Threads the needle into that window to S.J. Green.
His 4th major of the season for S.J. Green. And again, the penalty from Abdul Kanay on the stop. Otherwise, the Alouettes would be kicking a field goal for 3, as it is Jonathan Crompton has another touchdown pass on the season. Gets another crack. Very weird drive in so many ways. Penalty aided, then brought back as Sean White converts and extends the lead. Jonathan Crompton, little pump fake. S.J. Green, Florida Bulls, and has been a fixture for the Montreal Alouettes the last couple of seasons. Looks like he may have got nicked up on the elbow as well, diving for that ball and rolling over in the end zone. But Montreal now has a 20-7 lead on a penalty-aided drive. And the Ottawa REDBLACKS attempting to answer now. Roy Finch cutting back and dragged down by Bryn Roy. Great special teams play. They work on the elbow of S.J. Green, but here's what it was all about. Abdul Kanay was in the middle of a couple of plays.
Yeah, Kanay has a little bit of explaining to do. The pass interference that moved the Alouettes deep into Red Blacks territory, and then when they had them stopped on second down, the objectionable conduct that kept the drive alive and created the opportunity for this.
Penalties, penalties, penalties. An experienced team, the Ottawa REDBLACKS, in so many ways. Henry Burris trying to march his team back now. Burris heaves one over the top, up for grabs. Chip Cox could not come. Yes, they say Bear Woods has it. He says he has the football. The referee says Montreal has the football. It looked like Chip Cox had it. It came down in the arms, in the paws of Bear Woods. And another costly Ottawa REDBLACK turnover.
Well, both Alouette linebackers drop into that coverage, helping out rally to the football. There you see Chip Cox.
Bear Woods
has it snatched
right there.
away.
Snatched away by the Bear. Look at that. Good hands. Bear Woods.
We've said so much about the significance of Jonathan Crompton for the Montreal turnaround, but Bear Woods has certainly been the spark on defense.
5 Ottawa turnovers now. Terrell Sutton. Like that, James Rogers on the far side. Terrell Sutton providing the blocking. 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7.
Rogers not a huge part of the game plan tonight. We've seen him at times almost take over football games. And his role, multifaceted weapon for this team.
Ron Carter, top of your screen. Crompton goes to his right. And making the diving snag is Brandon London. What a week. The last couple of weeks have been time for Brandon London. Talk about Pink Week as he makes a great catch here. I'll tell you a story about Brandon London a little later in our telecast about the importance of this time. Pink Week and tackling women's cancer. Younger sister who was afflicted seriously. Pump fake again. Crompton hanging in. Now flushed. Throws to the sideline. So it'll be 2nd down now. Jonathan Crompton, one of 19 different starting quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League this season. Second down and 10. Blocking help. Here comes the rush. There goes the football, and trying to come back to it. S.J. Green wanting a call. Will not get it. Jonathan Crompton was decked.
First time in a little while that Ottawa's managed to get some pressure to Crompton between him moving around back there and the protection of his offensive line. Crompton seemed like he had been settling into a rhythm, but that time Keith Sholigan right up the gut with the hit on the Alouette quarterback.
So once again, Sean White will come out. Dave Stalo will hold. 20 straight. This one would threaten it. This is a long one, 47-yarder, but it's up and it's right through. Again, 21 in a row now for Sean White. Can't miss Sean White right now. 23-7 Montreal. Flags around our country at half-mast. What has been a very difficult week in this city like no other. Shock and horror. Tonight, a little bit of respite, diversion, and distraction, and football can provide that. Tributes tomorrow night here as well in Ottawa with the Senators. Their first game played since the attacks. Over the top is Khalil Payton.
Mid-season arrival. Has become a fixture in this receiving corps. Number 3 receiver in that 4-man set. Curl underneath, manages to make one miss for a pickup.
That's his first catch of the night as the Red Blacks try to battle back here. And all the momentum in the early going, and once again it's been the Montreal D that has done a lot of this. And guess what? Led by Jonathan Bear Woods and that linebacking core and veteran DB Gerald Brown. This is what Montreal has done during this run. They have stopped everybody.
Well, and here they get a little bit of help. If you watch the right tackle, Colin Kelly, he goes outside. That's where his read takes him, is to the outside, but Finch turns up inside, ends up running into a whole lot of traffic. Sometimes you got to trust the big boys.
In this current win streak, the Alouettes have not allowed 15 points or more in any of the games, thanks to their defense. Over the middle for Carlton Mitchell. Bear Woods tackling him. His first catch of the night.
There you see the architect of this Montreal Alouette defense. That's from Coach Noel Thorpe. Long resume at both the CIS and CFL levels. Joined the Alouettes from a stint as Danny Machocha's right-hand man with the University of Montreal Quebec.
Into Montreal territory now. Finch right side. Bear Woods trying to track him down. Cannot. Out of bounds with about half the first down yardage. Finch getting a lot of touches here the last couple of games since coming to Ottawa. Again, a team that lost Siobhan Walker, who was supposed to be their feature back, then broke his arm, and Jeremiah Johnson came in. He got hurt. Jonathan Williams came in. He's been nicked up a little bit.
Yeah, and Williams particularly going down with that leg injury. Earlier tonight, we saw him stay active on the sidelines, got in a little bit after that, but I suspect that one may have tightened up on him at halftime.
2nd and 5, Burris over the middle, and Bear Woods was all over Marcus Henry. They wanted an interference call, and a flag did just fly on the far side.
The call may be another case of that objectionable conduct with players looking for a flag.
Henry Burris did have some running room there if he wanted it as well.
Objectionable conduct. Ottawa number 13. 10-yard penalty. Be 3rd down.
3rd down, -10, and a longer boot now for Brett Maher.
Payton, the intended receiver. Excuse me, that's Marcus Henry.
They're going to challenge. There's a challenge flag that's just flown, and maybe rightfully so. That very close to pass interference. That objectionable conduct was likely Payton.
Yeah, signaling for the flag when there wasn't one.
So we'll see how command
Ottawa
looks at
is
this.
challenging that there's defensive pass interference. We'll review the play.
If they called defensive pass interference on Jarrell Gabbins earlier in the game, this looks more egregious, if you know what I'm saying, than that one.
An awful close call in terms of the timing, but there's no play made on the football by the defender.
It may have even had his arm before that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, based on the precedent set within this game, you would think this one might be overturned. Now, the question I thought you were going to ask is, do they pick up Khalil Payton's flag because he was right?
Well, good point.
think best case scenario, should they overturn this, the most Payton can hope for is an apology.
Well, we wait. Here comes the verdict from Tom Valesi and the command center. I think this is going to be pass interference.
After review, there's pass interference. Montreal number 48. Ottawa will get an automatic first down, then we'll apply the objectionable conduct penalty back 10. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line.
What, no apology?
Maybe he'll send him a letter, but for now, I think the Red Blacks and their fans will be happy that the drive stays alive.
I do understand that, though. And from an official's point of view, you don't want to see guys doing that all the time.
Exactly. And they've been consistent in terms of calling it. There's a reason, as you said, why they created that rule.
So now they're trying to find out exactly where the ball will be advanced and then take it back 10. They will huddle up here. Now they have it figured out. Looks like it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 48 of the Montreal Alouettes. 5:22 to go, third quarter here in Ottawa tonight. Red Blacks led 7-0 early, out of the gate early. Buoyed by an enormous reception here early on and ceremony. And then Montreal scored 23 straight. And it looks like they're going to add some more yardage on here. Alouettes jumped. You know, John Bowman talked about this, about the cadence that Henry Burris has and how he throws guys off.
Montreal number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And it's the respect that John Bowman has for Henry Burris, who's been in the league for a long time. And guess what? Still does it.
Yeah, he talked about that hard count used to try and draw defenders offside. And we've seen it. Bowman himself, guy who's heard it many, many times, still caught by it a couple of times in this ballgame.
Burris changes it up again. The veteran quarterback, 39 years young. Number 3 all-time touchdown passes. Pump fake now, and there's trouble. And Henry Burris is brought down at the midfield stripe. Kyrus Hebert came in to supply the finishing touch, so another sack here. But again, John Bowman knows what he sees when he's watching number 1.
The guy can do everything. You know, he can still run. He's got the hardest hard count you've ever heard in football. He's strong for a slight frame guy. But still hold on to the football and rechuck it. And he's smart. Like, it's not too many defenses that can fool him. If you don't get hands on the receivers or pressure in his face, he's going to gut you and kill you all day.
Well, that sack was a huge one because it brought the Red Blacks back, and Patrick Lavoie can only bring it back to the initial line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd down. And once again, Brett Maher will come out here. And we talked about it earlier, Maher, who is among the league leaders in kicking inside the 20 and 10-yard line, mostly because he's probably had to kick from a lot of these positions as well.
Well, exactly. He's struggled with his field goals from beyond 40 yards.
Maher's going to throw the football. Trickery here, and it works. Patrick Lavoie down the sideline he goes. Prime Minister likes it. Out of the bag of tricks. When in doubt, don't kick. Pass.
Well, in this part of the field, anytime you get around this part of the field, defensively, the team receiving the kick, typically you're in punt safe mode. You're prepared for a fake because of the field position. It's a low-risk position to try a fake. Montreal's got to be more prepared for this. Credit the Red Blacks with great execution and awareness. They've shown Maher moving to punt the ball before, so there wasn't an immediate reaction when he started moving to his right. Lavoie just slips out the backside for an easy completion from his punter.
Down to the 10. Burris, pump fake, has loads of time, throws deep into the end zone, no one home. Henry Burris had a lot of steamboats there.
Yeah, the protection was there off play action, but things well covered. Nobody bid on that pump fake. So Burris elects to throw it into the first row. Not risk the field position by taking a possible sack.
He's looking at number 82, Dan Buckner. Second and goal. Red Blacks need a score. There's the pump fake again, and there's John Bowman. Not fooled this time. And Henry Burris loses his helmet. And as much respect that these two guys have for each other, remember the last time these teams played? And Henry Burris did not like the way that he was sandwiched by the Alouettes, including John Bowman.
This time you'll see Bowman coming from the bottom of your screen. Montreal showing that three-man front. Often using four linebackers here tonight with Hebert back in the lineup and keeping Venable on the field. There was a hit involving Bowman, Alan Michael Cash, where Henry Burris was sort of held up and felt that he took a couple of shots to the head on the play. Head shots that have usually been called, particularly involving quarterbacks. That one was not.
So Maher is out again, this time to boot it through. They get 3, but would have preferred 7. Down to 13. The Red Blacks struggles continue inside the red zone. John Bowman, his 11th sack of the season. Ali with 4 sacks in this ball game, up to 46 on the season, and Ottawa has not put that much pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
No, they haven't, especially here in the second half. Jonathan Crompton, plenty of time to throw the ball, settle it into his groove. John Bowman's doing his part tonight. The absence of his usual wingmen, Aaron Laverius and Gabriel Napton.
There's Chris Rainey cutting outside. Down near the 31-yard line. 23-10 is the score right now. Jonathan Crompton back at the helm when we come back to Ottawa. ESN 1. Big John, Jonathan Crompton changes his play. Has 2 backs in Sutton and Rainey, gives it to Sutton.
Ottawa defender slow to get up after that collision.
Yeah, Terrell Gabbins and Terrell Sutton knew right away that he was hurt. Signal to the sideline. Gabbins says he's all right. So he can stay in the ball game here. For a moment, looked like he was down and out.
Gabbins and Thompson, the regular starters in those 2 halfback spots all season. Both out of Boise State, rookie starters here in the Canadian Football League.
Jonathan Crompton trying to go to 7-1 as a starter. There's a handoff to Chris Rainey, who has a CFL connection, by the way. His older brother played in the CFL, also played in the XFL. Might have been the most famous player in the XFL because of his nickname. He Hate Me.
Rod Smart.
Rod Smart is his older brother.
Former Edmonton Eskimo.
3rd and 1. And that time Jonathan Crompton stayed in. Normally we see Tanner Marsh, but good enough to move the sticks here. Night and day, isn't it, right now? Montreal Alouettes compared to the way they were at the beginning of the season, really the midway point of the season when all looked lost. In fact, the heat was on Tom Higgins, his first year back as a head coach.
Yeah, it really was. It was a team in disarray, struggling at the quarterback position as Troy Smith was trying to find his way. Not really sure which way this team was going to go. After Alex Brink had a shot, eventually they turned to the former Eskimo Crompton. He's responded by going 6-1 as a starter thus far. Put this team in position right now to host a playoff game.
That's the final play of the 3rd quarter. Red Blacks down to 13. Montreal Alouettes looking for win number 5 in a row, a chance to move back on top the CFL East and even their record at 8-8. To the fourth quarter we had in Ottawa. Blacks record this season 2-13. You can see a lot of that in that third quarter with the penalties that come out. Kind of the lack of discipline at times. Montreal Alouettes now 23-10. Jonathan Crompton's done an excellent job once again. He never loses his cool, does he?
Well, no, this is the thing that his teammates have said about Jonathan Crompton. As head coach Tom Higgins has pointed out as well, is he's always loose. He's always got a smile on his face, and it rubs off on his teammates. It's not a lack of intensity situation, as you see him down there chuckling right now, but really just wanting guys to be able to relax and play, and knowing that a team is often going to take its cues from its quarterback, feels that if he's relaxed, even though on the inside the fire's burning, but if on the outside his teammates see him relaxed, they'll be a little more relaxed, more capable of performing to their best abilities.
That was the third down play for Tanner Marsh. Now we'll reset the sticks for Crompton to come back in. Crompton again played his college ball at Tennessee. 5-star recruit there. 5th-round draft pick in the NFL from the San Diego Chargers. Spent some time with a variety of NFL teams. Was with the Edmonton Eskimos and then made his way to Montreal. The rest is history. Now downfield and trying to make an outstanding grab. Brandon Thompson blanketing Duron Carter.
Well, and that may seem like Brandon Thompson's just doing his job, but he went the extra mile. He covered him for about the last 20 yards of that play with only one shoe.
With one shoe. Look at him. There
right there on the cut, he loses it, but just keeps running to get in there and break up the play.
Shoeless Brandon Thompson. Goes to the sideline and get that shoe tightened up. 2nd and 10 now for the Owls. And they lead after 3 quarters this season. They're 5-2. Kenny Stafford bursting forward. Conversely, the Red Blacks this season 0-10, trailing after 3.
Opportunity now for Sean White to do his bit in the battle of these directional punters.
Very adept at it as well.
Great opportunity here for Montreal to pin Ottawa deep.
Ottawa will have the wind in this final quarter. Here's the kick. Trapped in the corner near the 15-yard line is Finch. Red Blacks have a big hill to climb. Another penalty flag flies on the sideline. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
We'll take a look at the most recent flag against the Ottawa Red Blacks. There you see Javon Johnson blocking along the sidelines. Doesn't like the treatment from Bryn Roy.
Right in front of the official.
Retaliation gets the penalty.
Danny O'Brien is back and goes deep down the sideline. Has a man. Wallace Miles. Vertical shot right away from Danny O'Brien.
Danny O'Brien showing he's got a short memory after the pick. In his first half appearance, no hesitation to throw that one up. Perfectly placed ball from the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, you know Dwayne here. Marco Briette doesn't get a piece of him, he's gone.
Yeah, free safety had to range all the way across the field to prevent a touchdown there.
Wallace Miles streaking down the sideline, great speed. Might be something they go to again. Brian stays in. Quick hitter. Scott McTonnell on the sideline. Look out here. He's going to score his first CFL touchdown. How about that?
Montreal native gets his first CFL touchdown against the hometown Alouettes. Danny O'Brien with his second touchdown pass here at TD Place. He couldn't even let Burris enjoy it for a day.
No, he could not. Danny O'Brien earlier, an interception. Spent the beginning of this half on the sideline and then gives it off to Scott McDonnell.
And 3 Alouettes right there to make the play. McDonnell ran through all 3 of them.
58-yarder, his first CFL touchdown. Former star Queens. Big Scott McDonnell in the house and makes this a ball game. 23-17. Gotta feel good, huh?
We thought he was going to get one a couple of weeks ago. Queens product, second-round draft choice.
Alouettes getting ready to go, and again, it's Pink Week, tackling women's cancer initiatives, and Brandon London. No one has a bigger feeling and a bigger feeling in his heart than Brandon London about Pink Week.
I was in high school, and my dad was, he just, came to us, me and my older brother, and, he just started breaking down, crying. And my dad is a football coach, well-known, strong, strong-minded, strong-willed person. And I've only seen him cry about 3-4 times my entire life, and that was one of them. And he told me that my little sister, who was around maybe around like 5, 6, 7 years old at the time, was diagnosed, had leukemia, had cancer, and it was just something that was, it was mind-blowing to me, because throughout my life I've never really had to deal with anything like that. I'm sitting, getting photos from my stepmother, at my military school, pictures with my little sister, and she doesn't have any hair or anything, It's just like one of those situations where you feel powerless. Here I am, this, bigger brother, this older brother, and there's really nothing I can do. They were saying how she needed a bone marrow transplant. And I don't, this time I'm 16, 17 years old. I don't know anything about bone marrow transplants. They scoured all throughout the United States, testing people to see if they can have some match. And there was no match. It just kept coming up empty. Out of nowhere, just out of the blue, we found out that my father was a direct match for her, which never happens, which is like a miracle. And on April the 29th, 2003, she received a bone marrow transplant from my father, and her body reacted so well to it. I don't even think there was really, any complications or anything with her, and it's a miracle. It's a miracle to this day that my little sister is 11 years cancer-free, a freshman in college.
Well, Brandon London is very happy and very proud of his little sister and the London family. Tough story to tell for Brandon London. He came up to us before the game and said, "Thank you for letting me tell the story." Brandon London tell the story of his little sister who he loves dearly. It's an amazing story when you think about it. She had a genetic blood disease, and it did not look good for a long time at a very young age. Her father, Brandon's father, Mike, coach at Virginia, was a rare match, bone marrow match, and to this day, Tyson London represents the happy endings that can come with initiatives like this week. There's Roy Finch. He's got some room. Look out, Roy Finch. Up near the 50-yard line. Ran about 40 yards to pick up about 7 on the return. Brandon London, though, is a testament to a great story, and unfortunately there are some very unhappy stories surrounding this disease, and great that the Canadian Football League, the National Football League are on this.
And I think one of the most important things to mention is Pink Week is about beating women's cancers, and it's kind of nice to see in the world of men, because every man at some point is touched by this. They want to label football and sports in general as a man's world. And as you said, great of the leagues and of these young men playing to do their part to bring awareness to a disease that, as we said, has touched a lot of them.
Pink Week will continue through the weekend. For Brandon London, a chance to think about his younger sister. Danny O'Brien. Patrick Lavoie, what a straight arm there. He's come up with a couple of big plays in this ball game. This will depend on the spot here. It looks like he's going to be a little bit short. Had to get to about the 51. So it's going to be 2 yards. And Danny O'Brien's not going anywhere. Nope, they're bringing out the kick team now. For a second, it looked like they were going to go for it. But in a 23-17 game, 2 yards is a lot on third down.
Yeah, and at midfield, you look at the opportunity here. They've got some momentum. What they want to do, as we've talked a lot about these two punters and their ability to place the ball where they want it. They can win in field position here with a good punt.
This looks like another dynamite punt. He's done it again, Brett Maher. So the Alouettes will bring their offense on the field on Pink Week. Thank you, Brandon London, for your story. And good luck to your sister and your family. A special week in the Canadian Football League. All right, thank you, Rod. Getting ready for that one. Looks like we're in for a finish here. 23-17. The REDBLACKS have fought back now. Long field, great punt by Maher. And trying to thread the needle was Crompton. Dangerous toss that time for Dave Stala, and Antoine Pruneau was right there to knock it away.
Pruneau, the rookie linebacker, makes a great break to the ball here. He nearly found himself running that one in.
The REDBLACKS team that has only had 2 wins. Both here at home. One against Toronto by 1 against Winnipeg on October 3rd by 22. This crowd is amped up. Here comes the rush. Crompton throws. Oh, Brandon London makes a catch. And a fumbled football. There was no whistle. This could be Ottawa ball. There is a late flag here. And again, players signaling here. I'm not sure what this flag, likely objectionable conduct. Yeah, there was no flag and then a fumble football. No whistle and a fumble.
See if we can see from this angle exactly where the ball popped free. Not down by contact yet.
That looked like a fumble. Looked like it was ripped out of his hand. He wasn't touched here, so he's not down.
Just see if the knees or a knee is back down when the ball is ripped. Kane comes in with the rip.
Close there.
Very close with the left knee.
Abdul Kane has been in a lot of plays here, positive and negative tonight. Officials are huddling up again to discuss this. So Brandon London wisely gets up, but then this. His body was kind of twisted.
So close to whether that left knee touched down before the ball was out of his possession.
Now the ruling on the field was down. So there would have to be a challenge on the fumble.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Ottawa.
They have ruled it a fumble.
But this will force them to review it.
We have a major foul, unnecessary roughness on Montreal. We'll go up 15 yards. First down.
What a turnaround. Now again, this is going to be reviewed. At first, the ruling appeared to be a down player. But then the officials talk about it. They rule it a fumble.
Well, and in many ways, understand this is the safe call. If it's not ruled a fumble, it's not automatically reviewed to make sure you get the right call. By ruling it a fumble, it automatically gets reviewed, which theoretically guarantees the right call. This is the safe call.
I think it's a fumble.
I think it's the right call. Seeing that angle, I think it's the right call.
There is no challenge flag. Again, because they are ruling at command center.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
Plus the roughing penalty. If this stays, look at the field position for the Red Blacks right now, near the 15-yard line.
To watch here for the left knee of London.
Ball's out.
Real close. Real close. Because that left leg is down. As you're saying, it's out. Watch the left leg in behind. That left leg is down. And the ball's not out.
But is the knee down? It looks like the bottom part of the leg.
Well, it's
almost the shin.
But I mean, it's any part of your body other than your hands or your feet.
So let's see.
Touching down and you're down. So whether it's his shin or his knee doesn't matter.
Beyond that, though, an amazing catch. Gets up. They may not have enough evidence. Hard to see. That angle might have been the best angle.
I have a feeling from that angle it's going to be overturned. This one's close.
Right there. If you back that up just a little bit.
But see, the knee is down.
Right here.
There's the knee down, and he's still got the ball.
Is it completely down? Now it's down. Very close. Okay, right here is that ball. Now watch the bottom part of his leg. Ball looks like it's coming out.
That is close.
Almost like simultaneous, isn't it?
It really is.
Talk about a call that could change the complexion of this ball game. Again, bang plays.
Well, that one's so close. I don't know if you can complain whichever way they go with the ruling.
Well,
but I suspect that they'll go with the ruling of fumble because that's what the initial call was when it's that close.
Here is the verdict.
After review, the runner was down by contact at the 31-yard line. At that point, we'll apply a major foul, unnecessary roughness on Montreal. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, Brandon London and the Alouettes get a reprieve. That was so close. Crowd doesn't like it. And like you said, because it happened at the same time. Well, they're booing, and a challenge flag has now been thrown. So Rick Campbell's thrown a challenge flag.
Ottawa would like us to review the play again.
I've not seen that. Have you?
This is a first for me.
Yes, I have not seen
a review of the review.
This is quite bizarre.
It couldn't be any closer.
So now if Ottawa wins, does Tom Higgins throw one and want to review that again?
Well, once you've reviewed it, I don't know how there's any possible way you can change the call.
Exactly.
Because I don't think the league really wants to get into a precedent of reviewing plays and then saying, yeah, we reviewed it, but we were wrong.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff. The play is so close. Had they called him down here, Campbell would have challenged likely. But they called it a fumble on the field. Command takes a look, and now they're coming back. And I can tell you right now, they're not overturning that one.
No.
This is... And basically...
So you overturn that one, and
Ottawa just wasted a challenge flag.
After review, the runner is still down by contact at the 31-yard line. Ottawa will be charged with their first timeout.
That was I cannot see what they were thinking there.
Yeah, there was no way to win the challenge of the review.
No.
There was no way to win it.
Lesson learned. Tough lesson. That could be a timeout that they need, especially in this close ball game. Back at work, the Alouettes after a lengthy delay here.
Essentially, my feeling is that Rick Campbell burned a timeout to make a point.
I guess. The video was so close. I mean, well, obviously at command, they might have even had a different angle.
We understand that it could have gone either way.
Absolutely.
Once they decided which way it was going,
it's not going back.
It wasn't changing.
He cites this crowd here. Already pumped up. Good blocking now for Terrell Sutton. Brought down by Travis Brown. A first down for the Montreal Alouettes. Time ticking down. How that would have changed this game, though, that turnover and then the ball to be scrimmaged at the 15 for the REDBLACKS.
What a twist for a team that hasn't received a lot of breaks this season.
They're short, actually. Tanner Marsh will come out. 3rd and inches. This has been a real yin and yang game, though, right from the beginning, hasn't it? One team does something, the other team counters. Montreal took over. Ottawa rallies back. And in the middle of all of it, a review of a review, which is a first. 3rd and inches. Marsh behind center. And as he has done many times, achieves the desired result.
Montreal drive carries on. Clock ticks on. Right there behind left guard Christian Matt. If there's any doubt on the call.
Our leader
says he's got it. Maybe Rick Campbell should have appealed to him. Go to a higher power.
Perhaps. Randy far side. A very difficult week for the leader of this country and all of the House of Commons. Did you happen to see the House yesterday when they came back and the Sergeant at Arms walked in? The ovation and parties, the words that were said. Maybe tonight a chance for this city to breathe a little easier.
I think it may still be a while before everyone really exhales here, but an entertaining football game is taking some minds off of what went on this week.
2nd down and 4. Crompton, sideline again, up near the 50 for S.J. Green. Now Crompton picking them apart with time ticking down. This one possession game, the Red Blacks cannot afford to let Montreal get to the end zone again.
Nice little sideline route there to S.J. Green. Taking advantage of his size, shielding the defender from the football.
Again, right after this, we'll send you to Calgary, St. Peter's, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Big game in the East tomorrow, Hamilton and Toronto. Here comes the house, and James Rogers pushed out of bounds. On 1st and 10. 2nd in short yardage once again. Crompton has been impressive to say the least. He's taking over the starting role for the Alouettes. Year of a rotating quarterback at the beginning of the season. They have obviously found their man.
They sure have. And Jonathan Crompton, you watch him from a distance. This is the guy who clearly enjoys playing football.
There's no penalty on the play.
Looks like they might have been counting up bodies, and there might have been some confusion there that Montreal had too many men, but they reboot that. Jonathan Crompton also spreads the wealth.
Yeah, Crompton has completed passes tonight to 9 different receivers.
Little animated, tries to get his personnel out. Montreal has to take a timeout here. James Rogers coming off and buckling his helmet. Not happy. Some confusion on who was coming in, who was going out here.
Yeah, shuffling personnel packages. Still have the feeling they might want to do a head count once they get huddled up here.
He's counting it up. Ottawa now brings in a sub. They're counting it up. They make a last-minute substitution. Big 2nd down play here, 2nd and 3. Jerron Carter in motion. Terrell Sutton takes the rock and has been stopped, it looks like, short of the 1st down. Now we'll see where they give him progress. It looks like, again, maybe just a yard shy, and this means it's likely Tanner Marsh time again.
And it is.
It's going to be 3rd and a long one this time. Last time was inches.
Blacks were glancing at that Montreal bench, hoping it would be Sean White jogging out there to take the snap.
And this drive also taking up lots of time on the clock. Quarterback sneak time again, and again, Tanner Marsh is money. Once again, we'll move the sticks. Drive will stay alive. And time is the enemy for the Red Blacks again.
That offensive line, always been a veteran group this year, going through something of a transition, completing the transition. Christian Matt and Ryan Bauman replacing Scott Flory and Andrew Woodruff. Both retired at those guard positions, but those inside guys have been tremendous.
Crompton wants to throw, goes deep, looking for Carter. Can't come back to the football, and again, Abdul Kane on Jerron Carter. Good battle watching that tonight. Looks like it's the 3-minute warning coming up here. When we come back, second down for the Alouettes. It is a 6-point ball game. Wallace, our entire crew here in the nation's capital. It's been a night full of emotion and some drama. And now one of the biggest plays of the game right here. 2nd and 10. Alouettes lead by 6. Here comes the rush. Crompton throws. It's batted away. And now the Alouettes will have to boot the ball back to the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Question is, will it be Henry Burris, who hasn't played much in the 4th quarter? Looks like he has a football in his hand ready to roll. Danny O'Brien was in for a few plays. Got a touchdown for the REDBLACKS.
Yeah, O'Brien led a big drive. Started with that long sideline pass to Wallace Miles. With the game on the line, expect to see the veteran Burris take the snap.
Sean White, key kick here. Angling it. Here's Roy Finch. Corralled down to the 10-yard line. And it will be Henry Burris. Could be a nice way to write a script in a very emotional week.
To be a part of, helping the fans and helping Ottawa heal and get over, but also to show the fact that we're a strong, resilient group here in this city and in this country. The fact that we're going to show our sympathies, to the victim that was involved, to his family, to his friends, because all he was doing is just doing his job. And for us to show thanks is definitely what it's all about. But for us to show our Canadian pride and show how strong we are, how strong this country is, how strong this city is, and how supportive this city is, and to give thanks to that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
Well, in so many ways, the REDBLACKS have done that already tonight by hosting this game and the opening to this night. I don't think anybody who was here will ever forget it.
Very, very special moments before this game. Again, city and country coming together.
2nd down and 3. 4-man rush. Burris just chucks it away. Now it's going to be 3rd down. But there's 2:04 to play here. And they're going to boot it away.
Yeah, the field position dictates they have to kick and hope that the defense can hold on.
Go back, though, to that play with Brandon London. And how that has changed this game completely.
As close a decision as you'll see on a review in terms of the timing of when the ball comes out.
Brett Maher, rugby style again, one hopper to Rogers. Down at the midfield stripe. 2-minute warning now for Jonathan Crompton. Will he be conservative? Will he put it in the air? We'll see. After this, we'll see the Stampeders host the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Wendy's Friday Night Football continues. Alouettes 155 away from going to 8-8.
Well, the Owls did a pretty good job of eating up the clock on their last possession. Nearly 6.5 minutes on their last drive.
12 plays. 53 yards in that kick after. We'll try the power sweep here to Terrell Sutton. Brought down. Abdul Kanay.
Timeout, Ottawa.
A reminder, Ottawa burned their previous timeout with the challenge of a play that had already been reviewed. Essentially a challenge of the review.
So just like the previous series, a gigantic 2nd down for both sides. Jonathan Crompton Looking at the bench, Tanner Marsh was out about 10 yards on the field, shouting out some signals as well. Here we go. Play clock's down to 6, down to 5, down to 4. Handoff up the middle, and Antoine Pruneau is able to wrap up Sutton. So the spot looks like it's going to be 2 yards short.
The spot is going to be key here.
So maybe a yard and a half again. And Sean White comes. He does the job. Desired result. Roy Finch will go back. Sean White will kick again. This one you might see him try to angle it even more this time.
And a 6-point game, should it stay in, this is where Finch, a guy new to the league, has to be aware. It's okay to let this one bounce into the end zone and take the single point to get in the field position, should it go that way.
Again, Roy Finch is a newcomer to this league, only a couple of weeks. Bobble snap. White with the side of his foot, not a good kick. Out of bounds near the 15. And there's a penalty flag that flew.
Wonder if this may have been a hold while the ball was in the air.
Talking with Henry Burris here. He's looking to the sideline for some help where they want this football. Tom Valesi will come over and chat with Rick Campbell as well. They want the yardage.
Illegal interference. Montreal number 52. Be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So 10 more yards. And another long field, however, for the Red Blacks. Here's the penalty.
Yeah, keep an eye on the matchup right here. Nicolas Boulay. That grab on the collar and pull and throw. Earns the illegal interference.
A minute 15 to go against one of the best defenses in the land for the Ottawa Red Blacks. 4 receivers to the right. And downfield and running under it. That's that strong arm of Henry Burris, but Matt Carter can't get there. They don't need that vertical shot right now. Now they need 10 yards, and they've got plenty of time to work with here. Here's the issue for the Ottawa Red Blacks and their growing pains this season. They have not been able to finish games.
No, they absolutely haven't. You look at the number of games that have been close after 3 quarters to realize that Ottawa has only won 2 games this season. The finish has not been their friend.
They need 10. And they are going to come down to a 3rd down with 1:05 to go. Scott McDonnell can't haul it in. Can't boot it back now.
Looking for the big target. McDonnell across the middle, balls. A tough spot.
There's the danger going for that home run ball on 1st down as well. Well, you come down to this. 3rd down and 10. This is the ball game. They're not going to get it. Catch is made, but they're not going to get it. They're going to be held short of the 1st down. And the Alouettes, with a minute to go, can now salt this one away. McDonnell made the catch. But once again, the Ottawa Red Blacks are going to come up short.
Yeah, short of 1st down yardage on the play, and likely short on the ball game. Montreal able to eat up some time, and But you look across the board, I'm not sure if any of the Ottawa receivers will pass the first down marker with their routes.
That might have been Henry's look of concern. Unless the Alouettes are in a giving mood and hand this back, this one is essentially over. Terrell Sutton spinning, still on his feet, slides down near the 15-yard line. There was a flag that flew on the play. So the Alouettes look like they're going to have win number 5 in a row. Absolutely extraordinary turnaround from 1-7. They've now won 7 of their last 8. And again, no team in CFL history.
Montreal, no end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Has come back from 6 games in arrears to finish 500 or better. Give this guy a lot of credit, Tom Higgins, and this team a lot of credit.
Well, Tom Higgins has been so consistent in terms of his approach. Stayed the course, believed in what he was doing, believed in what he was telling his players. Clearly they bought in too.
And another team that started off poorly, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 1-6, 5 games under 500. They're back at it against the Argonauts. How big is that game again tomorrow now that the Alouettes have held serve here?
Well, for these teams in the East, it's kind of been playoff mode for these guys for the last month. Particularly all these head-to-head games now down the stretch. Montreal put a lot of pressure on the Toronto Argonauts when they defeated them last weekend.
Time ticking down at 25 seconds. Red Blacks trying to strip that ball away, but Sutton's not having anything to do with that. Put the finishing touches on this one. Another loss for the Red Blacks, now 2-4. Big plays here and there, but in between a lot of drop passes, lack of execution.
Well, you look at the way the Red Blacks came out of the gate in this ball game, and you thought, wow, maybe this will be the night that the offense gets going, but unable to sustain that, particularly in the second half of this ball game.
Timeout.
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Timer,
against
can
the
you please
Argonauts,
put 2 seconds on the game clock?
Pressure seriously on the Toronto Argonauts in that one tomorrow. Crossover looming from the West Division.
So the Montreal Alouettes have improved to 500. We now take you to part 2 of our doubleheader. McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Bo Levi Mitchell and the first place Stampeders against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Let's head off to Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.